Welcome to the FitFiliate Podcast, where with honesty and transparency, we talk about all things fitness, coaching, and gym ownership, so that you can feel less crazy and frustrated and alone, while you also find more freedom and make more money.
And welcome back to another episode of the FitFiliate Podcast, and joined today again by Chuck and Tony from FitFiliate. How are you, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
Good.
That's good. I thought for today's call we'd do something a little different, and we've been sent in from all of our dedicated listeners, watchers, viewers, fans, some questions that they thought were interesting, that they want to hear some opinions from you guys. So good with that? So we'll ask the question, quick answers, and move on to the next one. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Perfect. Rightio, and let's hit the first one, which is talking about a topic which is rolling around at the moment, the CrossFit Games. Valuable for affiliates to leverage off, or not valuable at all? Short answers. We've got a couple of minutes per question.
Who answers? We just both start throwing out answers?
We should establish
A
the
buzzer?
cadence.
Yeah, well, Chuck, you can go first, and then Tony.
Valuable overall exposure, because how many affiliates can fucking advertise in like ESPN, but poorly utilized because they don't understand how to translate it back into their own business, service, or product offerings, and HQ has missed the mark in the media department to make that a more congruent pathway for people to understand how the dollars can be beneficial, or how the games can be beneficial to the box. So
Yep.
It exists, but you've got to figure that one out on your own.
Yep. Tony, thoughts?
It's a literal physical example of a what versus a why. It's really all it comes down to. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with the games. I think they're fun. I think they're fantastic. I think people like them. They just do not correlate to what is the why behind CrossFit, which is essentially the eradication of obesity and the deadly quartet. But when you don't have your own why, what's become wise, and that's usually what ends up happening. So I don't think they're necessarily a bad thing. Like Chuck said, they definitely give some publicity. I just worry about the publicity that they give, because none of that stuff's happening inside an affiliate, and it's not the reason why anybody wants to be there to begin with.
Yep, and that's a fair point. Good answers on that one, boys. Next question we have is, if you could have one wish for the affiliate landscape, or the affiliate model as it currently is within CrossFit, what is one wish that you would have for that, to see it move forward?
Stay golden, pony boy.
Can you contextualize like the wishing conditions? Is this a wish for like coaches, owners, athletes, clients? Like,
let's say coaches and owners. If you had one wish to make positive change in the affiliate landscape, what would you wish to see happen?
I wish that they understood the value proposition of fitness.
Yeah. Same. I wish they understood the value of the application and the implementation of CrossFit. I wish more people took the last sentence of fitness in 100 words more seriously.
Yep.
Is that too short of an answer?
No, it's a good answer. It's maybe expand a little for those who are watching, listening on
No.
what you just said about the value proposition. Understanding the value proposition. Thanks, Tony.
Cool. Burpees in a warehouse is worth fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Being able to play all day long on the playground with your 4-year-old son is worth everything.
Yep. Perfectly said.
They're trapped in the former and don't even conceptualize the latter or have a way to effectively communicate it.
One is a why, the other one is a what. Here we go.
Well, we'll just get that subtitle on the screen, just have it running all the way through.
Probably should. Like the old Disney bouncing Mickey Mouse head.
Yeah. We'll just put a sign up as your background.
Did you ask?
Right.
Did you ask why?
Why?
Oh, why not?
And the cycle continues. Alrighty. So this one can be a little bit contentious because we know that affiliate
Sure.
owners like to buy things. What do you think is the best investment an affiliate owner can make for their box?
Coaching.
And whether it be coaching.
They need a coach.
They need a coach. Yep.
Not but hire a coach. They need their own coach for the same reason why they believe that people need to hire their coaches to solve their problems. They need to hire a coach to help them solve their own problems. Note that I said coach, though, not teacher or trainer.
Chuck?
I kind of wanted to fuck with you and say GHDs, but like, no. I mean,
Well,
Reverse
I was
hyper.
gonna say, a couple more air bikes and things like that.
what was the specific question?
What's the best investment that an affiliate owner can make in their business?
It would be at least taking a moment to reflect on the question itself to understand the nature of an investment and what makes a good investment versus a bad investment. A good investment is an investment that has some type of positive return. Fuck, dudes, like, at least as a community, stop and look at that. Like, anything that I elect to invest dollars in, what is the beneficial outcome of it? I mean, like, coaching is, obviously we're fucking biased, but like, it is the right answer because they've done the other shit and they're probably not where they want to be. And no amount of square footage or equipment or extra classes and clinics and workshops and apparel and supplements, like, that's not the answer.
But as affiliate owners, we tend to fall in the trap of going for the shiny object. Like, another Echo bike will fix everything.
Well, listen, they might need more equipment. I mean, I don't know. If you got 4 rowers, a 5th rower would make a huge difference, right? That changes the implication of your classes substantially. And I don't pretend to know what exactly your affiliate needs, but I do know that regardless of how well you're staffed, how well you're outfitted in terms of equipment and space, I do know that there is still one person who sits at the helm of that thing who makes hopefully all the right decisions. So if you could invest in a way to improve the ROI of that person, all the other things become irrelevant or useless.
Yeah, and like, that is the benefit of the coach, is that there is disproportionate positive ROI on that investment. Because you have somebody that sits able to see your blind spots and shadows and to ask better questions. And so, like, maybe it was an Echo bike that you needed. Or maybe it was a rower that you needed. Or maybe you were actually better served to sell your other 4 rowers, buy a shitload of dumbbells. But you don't know what problem you're trying to solve when you're fucking trapped there on your own. But that's probably long enough for the answer, especially since we both gave the same answer.
Yeah, but in a slightly different way, and I like that.
Well, I think that, like, the important note on that is just, like, whatever investment, you actually have a way to prove a positive return on that investment. Start there.
Yep.
But just so we're clear, buy Concept 2 bikes over assault bikes. Moving on.
Yeah, they're really good. All right, so let's throw back in time a little bit. Both of you have your origins in owning an affiliate each for a period of time. So let's narrow it down to one lesson that you learnt from owning the affiliate that you carry through with you today.
One? Just one?
Just one. I'm going to make it really hard.
I would like the record to show that we did not have these questions ahead of time, so thank you again. So, Chuck, you're going to answer this one first.
I will go ahead and send it because I'm very confident in my answer, because it wouldn't change regardless of how much I thought about it. It's that it's not as hard as we make it out to be. And that is every fucking piece of it. We choose to make it way fucking harder than it needs to be. And the piece of me that, like, really reflects on that is that when we made the decision to move, we had the gym entirely fucking staffed out and separated from in under a month. I have watched a bunch of affiliate owners struggle for years through what we've done in FitFiliate. Like, people 2.5 years in that still don't have their classes covered.
Mm.
But it's a perception piece. And that's a real mind fuck.
That it?
Tony? Yep.
Probably that the solution is in the experiences, not the answers. I mean, I think that as affiliate owners in general, and I certainly made the same mistake. You look for the answers, or you look for the destination, or you look for the solution to the problem. But everything you've been through has uniquely prepared you for the next thing you're about to go through. And so often do we tend to look for other people for the answers instead of looking back at our own experiences to solve our own problem. So kind of like Chuck said, it's a lot easier than you think it is. You just are very distracted with the noise.
That sucks to say. And I'm sure it sucks to hear. But more than anything, it sucks to have to like internalize and listen to, because like, you know, almost 5 years of suffering was all by choice because we designed it to be painful and hard and slow. But as soon as you change a bunch of shoulds to musts, and you're like, this whole time, my fingers would have hurt if I stopped hitting them with a hammer. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, we do like to make things hard for ourselves and think that the glory is in the hustle and the suffering. I guess it's, you know, no one wants to look at it and say it looks easier than what it is. But it can be.
Well, I mean, it's a what and why conversation. If you don't know why you're doing anything, you try to figure out what you should be doing.
So you chase squirrels? Like, I don't know who would do that here. All right.
Are there squirrels in Australia? Do you guys have squirrels? I think I've asked you this before.
Possums are kind of closest to squirrels that we have. But, you know.
Possums here are basically blind, sleepy, nighttime animals. They are nothing like a squirrel.
They're fucking terrifying.
Yeah, ours can be. They'll get into a fight on your roof in the middle of the night. That's always delightful. It's
That's
great
the most Australian statement ever. Carry on.
Yeah. All right. At FitFiliate, you know, you strive to help affiliate owners with their full freedoms of purpose, time, money, relationships. Which is, in your mind, the most? Well, you can take it two ways. Either the most important one that you view for affiliate owners to strive towards, or what do you think is the first one that affiliate owners should strive to focus on, then line the rest up? It's like picking a favorite child.
Well, they're all equal in terms of their return on investment. I think the one that they need to focus on the most is the one that they're the least in possession of. Generally, that will return the largest improvement on the effort that goes into it. But I think as a whole, generally speaking, understanding freedom of purpose would probably go the furthest for the affiliate owner, as in most of them are in pursuit of some degree of purpose. And understanding what freedom of purpose means might make it all make more sense to them. But respectfully, most of them are also broke. So maybe freedom of money might be the best thing.
Chuck?
I would say if I had to deliberately sequence it, it would be that they built a better freedom of money so that they could create a better freedom of time. And I would venture to guess that the average affiliate owner, despite like whatever dumpster fires may exist, they've got some sense of purpose and they have some relationships that they have cultivated that they are truly free in, at least exploring to some degree. But generally the things that they are lacking the most, at least at the stage in which we, you know, meet with most of them and begin some type of relationship, is no money and no time.
Do you feel like, just as a quick follow-up to that one, that once affiliate owners feel like they have the freedom of money, then it becomes much easier for them to focus on the other three, that they don't have that pressure of, you know, nothing in the bank?
Well, yes, when you're starving, everything sounds good. When you're full, you can deliberately choose a recipe and cultivate a list of grocery items and plan the meal. And there's so many of them that generally sit in a place of starving scarcity that they don't have good decision-making ability. They can't think clearly about what it is that they already have in front of them.
Yep. So, just to digress slightly on that, as part of the Fit Affiliate model, which we will talk about in upcoming episodes, you don't have a direct sequence that you work through with each owner. It's more of an individual, what that person needs to focus on first, correct? Yeah. So it's not that cookie cutter approach as in first do this, then this, then this, and this. It's more about what's most important for them at that time or what their greatest need is.
It's the most effective minimum dose, right? I mean, understanding where you're at allows us to figure out better where you need to get to. But respectfully, they ultimately are the ones who make that determination because it's their goals and their vision and their why that tells us where they want to get to. The 4 freedoms are just objective, quantifiable improvements that can be met along the way. And there's 4 of them for a reason. They're not all inherently related. Right? Like freedom of money doesn't inherently mean that you all of a sudden acquire freedom of relationship or freedom of purpose. They all have to be, none of them can be possessed. They must be created, and they must be created all the time. You don't just all of a sudden have freedom of money and then it's just now you own that. Like that achievement's been unlocked. You work on it every day. But you only invest time and energy into things that create freedom of money instead of things that don't create freedom of money.
Yep. Perfect. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about Fit Affiliate. You guys have been doing this now.
Those are already 10 questions?
No. We're only up to question 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I was like, did I fucking black out for like 3 or 4 minutes?
No. It's like one of the questions is talking about Fit Affiliate and the fact that you have been doing this for a couple of years now, so you've really built something special. But what is your hope for Fit Affiliate moving forward?
Save the affiliate model.
Mic drop out.
We mean that. Like, we would fist fight somebody in a fucking parking lot, but like, that is the mission, that is the vision, that is the goal, because the affiliate model is the only thing, so far as I know, in all of human history that has actually moved the needle against chronic disease in a substantial way.
While at the same time improving the quality of life of the person who is in possession of that affiliate. It needs to be protected for 2 reasons. But it is the reason why the company was started. It is the reason why we get out of bed in the morning. And it is essentially the reason why it's still so much fun for us. Right? It's our job to show you guys alternative paths to your own solution and to protect the affiliate model.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe like that's the thing that a lot of people either lose sight of or don't have enough context or clarity on, is that it's not like, hey, we want to save the affiliate model because we think that like gyms are fucking neat and they should be successful. That is true. Gyms are neat and they should be successful, but the affiliate model is that there is no model. And that's the thing that we are fiercely loyal to and work tirelessly in defense of, is that Tony's answer, my answer, your answer, they are different answers to the same questions and problems. And that's the beauty of something that is divergent. Standardized affiliate model is not the affiliate model that the world needs, so long as that is like our belief. But I think what we've seen globally through like the last 15 years together, like, I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption. I'd put a couple dollars on it.
I mean, the follow-up question I think everybody would have is that, like, that sounds great, but how are you going to do it? And really it's in support of and in defense of, because the way that we plan to save the affiliate model is to not in the same breath jeopardize the affiliate model by standardizing the affiliate model, right? Like the simple solution would obviously be like, take what works and make every affiliate do it, then they would be safe. But really what you would do would be jeopardizing the individuality and the creativity that exists inside every single affiliate, which makes it so successful. So the how we plan to save the affiliate model is to show you all alternative paths to your own solution. Because once we can show you that an alternative path is possible, there's a very high likelihood that you'll believe that path is possible and you'll follow it. And it'll be your own path.
it's one of the powerful things for me is understanding that you actually have the answers. It's just being, have a light shine on it and being asked the right questions that you go, oh, this is
Well,
this
certainly move a
this
lot
I know
faster
what
with
to do.
your own idea.
Yeah. Well, no one takes advice, or direction. They'll, unless it's their idea. All right. Now, I know that both of you gentlemen are, well read, and I know in my time with Fitfiliate, you've suggested many books to me, which have hit the mark every time. What would be one book that you 100% go to, would be your first recommendation for someone to read, whether it be business, personal? If someone came to you and you said, you must read this book, have you got one book that one or two books that you can go to that straight off the top of your head?
I would recommend to read, or the first book that we recommend every client reads?
Could be the book that you recommend to read, not necessarily that you recommend to clients to read.
It's a very different question. Generally speaking, I think that obviously the first book that I would probably recommend that everybody read is It Starts With Why, right? But I think that book, a lot of people have read it and it is lost on a lot of people until you should truly start to realize it. So I think the answer would be the same answer regardless, in that it's probably The Magic of Thinking Big, because I feel like that's lost on so many people, not just affiliate owners. So it has had a profound level of reflection and success anytime it's ever been referred out. So it's one that I generally like giving out. People seem to get the most value out of.
That is the first one that we recommend to clients. And I it's not that Tony and I have any shortage of exposure to fucking pieces of literature or like good things to pass along. But there's so much of the biggest, best, most beautiful parts of life that are trapped inside our ability to use our imagination and be creative and think big and get out of the boxes that we trap ourselves in as adults. And so that's a standard, like, everybody needs it. If you think about how you talked about the world and like what your imagination was like when you were a child, and you step into like your big dumb adult body and like you're like, oh, I can't even think of creative creatures and monsters. Like, we just lose the ability to be creative in any sense. And so that makes it really hard to find happiness, purpose, satisfaction, depth, and to be a better problem solver. So Magic of Thinking Big is a universal recommendation for everybody. Other universal recommendation, but it's, fuck, if somehow you missed it, I don't know how you fucked up. How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you've made it into adult life, if you've made it into adult life and you've missed that, like, oops. If you have a business or have any aspirations of like generating wealth or playing that game, I would say Think and Grow Rich is super undervalued, but a lot of it relates to thinking big and being able to be creative and divergent. So those are kind of like top three.
Yep, that's perfect.
Probably the bonus one would be The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, which basically defines the ubiquitous presence of resistance in your life and the many roles that it plays. That's the book that I probably give out to the most amount of people, not just clients, and it's very easy to read. You can read it in like literally one day.
Yeah, that one was a really powerful listen when I downloaded that one, and I was like driving along and listening and going, wow. And I have to say that when I knew that you guys were the right people that I wanted to spend time with, working towards my goals and dreams, is when you suggested The Magic of Thinking Big, because I actually read that back in 1995, and I still remember the bulk of it. And when we talked about it, I was like, oh, okay, I've
a new book
on my bookshelf. No, but it's a fantastic book, and it reminded me of it and made me go revisit it. And I was like, these are my people, because I knew that that's the kind of same path we were thinking on. So there you go. So speaking of books and reading, this is your personal preference. Do you prefer a paper book, an ebook, or to listen to a book?
Paper. 100% paper.
Yep.
Now, based on like current life circumstance, situation, and bandwidth, definitely go through an enormous volume of audiobooks. But if it's personal preference and the world is my oyster and I had all the time and energy in the world, I would read everything as paperback.
Yep.
Big fan of Blinkist.
Books, hardcover books suck a giant bag of dicks, but that's just, as people that travel an enormous amount, big fan of paperback.
I have repurchased many paperback books in hard copy versions just because I appreciate them and respect them. But also a big fan of Blinkist, which is neither an audiobook nor a paper book. It's mostly just the Cliff Notes, but it will allow you to get through a great deal of books in a very short period of time. So if you are somebody who is constantly tugged with the reality that there's a lot of things you still have to read, it's a great resource.
So as people who travel widely with your work with the gymnastics course, do you find that if you choose to listen to a book or a podcast or a book, let's talk about the books, and you find that something's resonating with you, is that a book you would then likely go back and get the paper copy of to read and further absorb? I find when I'm listening to books, and I do it in the car all the time, all of a sudden I'm like, I have no idea what they just said, or that was really good and I need to remember that to go back to it, whereas in the paper one you can highlight it, underline it, whatever you want to it.
I don't generally do that. I don't really ever buy a book, an audiobook, unless I've already bought the book. But every book I buy, I also buy the audiobook. So I'm the weirdo that listens and reads at the same time sometimes. So
yeah,
kind of.
I do that.
Sequence, but if it's there's a lot of redundancy in my life. There's probably like 40 or so books that exist both like on the shelves behind me and on Audible, but there's not a set sequence to which they are acquired. Yeah,
I've got the same. I've got some on through my Kindle app that I also have on Audible that I also have then went and bought on paper copy because I wanted to actually sit and read it and absorb it and understand it. One more thing on the listening, because I'm going to sneak in another question there, is when you're out and about on the road for gymnastics course, what is your go-to to listen? Is it podcasts, and do you have one that you would recommend apart clearly from this one? But I assume that you're not traveling and listening to your self-talk. Podcasts or music, or what do you find helps you get from point A to point B and get you in the right frame of mind for running those amazing seminars?
I listen to more books than anything else, but if I do listen to a podcast, there's generally only like two podcasts that I'll typically listen to, and it's Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan. But it's based more on the guest being interviewed than it is on them as hosts. They're really good at the art form of podcasting and interviewing. So those are my two podcasts, but it's mostly for the guests that they have.
I don't really listen to audiobooks. I'm just a bad audiobook person. I can't really pay that much attention to it, but I listen to podcasts regularly because that usually leads me to books that I should read. So the podcasts I listen to are usually relative or relevant to either where I'm going or what I'm doing or what kind of mood I'm in, but it's pretty much all versions of the same things. There's lots of different ones. Probably the most useless one I listen to is The Way I Heard It by Mike Rowe. That's a fascinating one to listen to him tell stories. I'm a very big fan of the Huberman Lab podcast. I'm a very big fan of the Bigger Pockets podcast for both real estate and in business. Big fan of most of the guests that end up on Ferriss and Joe Rogan. Like Chuck said, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, if I showed it to you, there would be tons of them.
Yep. Fantastic. And it's always good to have something happening in the ears. All right. And as we know through our previous chats, you guys are very, OG in the CrossFit space, and we're there for the main site bulletin board and the chatting back and forth and logging your results on .com. If I had to ask you your one favorite workout,
Filthy 50.
What would you do? Filthy 50. That would not be many people's first answer.
I also fairly unpopular answers. It would either be Eva or
Fuck
DT.
You. I knew you were going to say that. No way.
Eva's just It's just classic. There's a lot of nostalgia to it. I'm a big fan of Helen. Like, as a history lesson, there was a point in time when Helen was not a named workout in the sense of being a girl. It was originally the CrossFit Challenge, and it was presupposed that nobody would be able to do it under 10 minutes. And so, like, that's a real mind fuck to see how far the community has gone. But, yeah, Helen was originally the CrossFit Challenge.
Right,
Eva's
there you go. I didn't know that.
Cool version of it and attached to a cool person. And for something that is entirely barbell based, DT is a great piece of programming. But both Helen and Eva, like, it's nice that they touch on all the modalities. And yeah.
I have to say I'm a big fan of DT. Like, it's one of those ones you go into it and you start it and you're like, this is going to be amazing, and then you go about round 3, you're like, actually no, it's not. That's right. Same as I find with the 7s. That's usually my favorite. But I get to round 3 or 4 and go, oh, that's right, this is horrible.
Very deceptive workout.
Yeah.
My favorite workout in all of CrossFit, I think, is Griff. Let's just be honest, because I love running backwards down the street. So most people don't know what that is, so go ahead and look that one up. Or the old school version of Michael, which was great. Was another great. I mean, there's so many great workouts in classic CrossFit, and I can't believe that, like, there's a thing that's just classic CrossFit. But, like, I mean, Chuck and I laugh about this all the time, but that's pretty much, you go through a life cycle as a coach, and you end up basically just back to the basics. You end up just doing these single, double, triple modality couplets, etc., triplets, and they just work. They suck. Yeah. But Filthy 50 is a little bit different for me, only because it was my first workout ever. So it's one of those ones. But honestly, it's because I'm the most productively lazy person you'll ever meet in your life. So only having to do one thing once, essentially, and moving on to the next really jives with me. All the other workouts require me to do the same thing over again a handful of times, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I am a fan of a chipper. Just get it done and move on. Short and sharp is not my friend, but, long, grindy chipper.
Chippers just feel like fucking task saturation to me. It's like opening my email and I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
I love them.
Yeah, I can embrace that suffering, but something short and sharp like Fran is like, no, it just...
Nah, man, I
give me half an hour to suffer and I'm there all day. It's great.
I'm a big fan of, like, a 10-minute AMRAP of just, like, one movement. I like dumb grunt worky shit, and Vanessa hates it. I'm like, how about 10 minutes of dumbbell snatches? And she's like, fuck you. I'm like, 10 minutes of thrusters? Fuck you.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, nope. Just nope. There's no good can come of that. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you for that. I think that was a bit of fun this morning and a good insight, a few quick snapshots into you guys as well, to help people get to know you, but also what you do here at Fit Affiliate. So thank you for your time this morning. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for your podcastering, or whatever. What is the term for the verb of what it is that you do? Maybe it's just interviewing, facilitating. I don't know.
It could be just pushing the buttons. That's all I call it. I'll just push the buttons, and you two bring the magic.
Nah. You're awesome, lady. This is my favorite recording that we've done so far.
Fantastic. All right, boys, I'll talk to you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Fit Affiliate Podcast. If this was helpful to you and you would like to jump on a 1-hour call to solve one problem for free, click the link.